Trendsetter here. I'm going to be having more than a most wonderful time here at AVN in Las Vegas, Nevada. First time for me here, and look who I've run into. If you don't know who this woman is, then what's wrong with you guys? Go home and Google it. It's Alexis Fawx. Alexis, thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time. I know you guys ask this a lot, and I apologize for it ahead of time, and I know you must be tired of hearing it all the time, but honestly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
Is that what I did there? Is that what I did there?
That was good. Actually, I appreciate the question, actually. I think people should ask that more often.
Exactly.
Actually, yeah, I'm doing pretty good now that I'm here. It was a little panicky, you know, you always get a little nervous before any of these conventions and stuff like that, so now that I'm here, let's do it.
Talking about these conventions, first time for me here ever in Las Vegas and ever here at the AVN Awards.
Oh, wow, okay.
Expo here. What's it like from the talent's perspective when you're here and meeting all your fans and they're here wanting to get an autograph from you, wanting to get a picture taken with you?
Well, I'm based out of Vegas, so a lot of times I might be just out and about and I get stopped. So.
Okay, but when you're traveling though to other places,
that happens as well, especially airports.
Yeah.
I'm known for airports.
Yeah, that's the way. Especially at 4 in the morning, maybe it's not the best time to say hello, but at the same time, you appreciate it nonetheless. What's it like from your perspective in terms of seeing them? Does it give you a humbling feeling?
Oh,
Do you sometimes get
absolutely.
overwhelmed, like, wow, look, all these people are here just to see me?
It can be both. It's very humbling and it's also overwhelming at the same time. It's a lot of, like, I'm a very sensitive person, so like I think anything at you in a big wave can be overwhelming, but it's also like an awesome feeling as well because it's all these people that have brought me here. So you know what I mean? So it's both. It's like, holy shit, this is amazing, you know? To be nominated, just to be nominated is just amazing. You know what I mean? So. Yeah.
Something I've always been interested in, and I'm glad you're here so I get a chance to talk to you about this, is, you know, the adult film industry, it's been around for quite a bit. You've been in the business for a good amount of time, and so when it comes to that being said, what's the most important thing for you in terms of keeping yourself, you know, relevant and competitive? Because, you know, we on the High Spot Podcast, we do professional wrestling, so it's a very competitive business by nature there. I would only think that the same thing is for the adult film industry.
Well, first of all, I don't compete with anybody else but myself. That's number one. I don't look at the beautiful women that I work with as competition. I love every person I work with. What keeps me healthy and happy and keeps me on top of my personal game is I have 3 ingredients to a happy life.
Pay attention, guys.
1, exercise or movement, correct, like good nutrition and sleep. If you got those 3 things in somewhat of a balanced order, and that can be different for everybody, you're going to be a happy person. And then you're going to be on top of your game because if you get any of those 3 things out of order, your sleep's going to be off, you're not going to eat right, and then you're not moving around properly. So keeping those things in order will always keep you on top of your game regardless of what you're doing.
1 out of 3 for me ain't bad, but at least it's 1 out of 3 for me.
You gotta work on that.
Yeah, I know, I need sleep, you know, but again, sometimes it's few and far between for me, but
Yeah,
I try.
I have ways to make you sleep.
I know, right? I mean, sometimes I'm just so exhausted, I just pass out, I'm like, that's it, I can't take anymore. But, you know, being here and like something I've wanted to ask you is that, you know, in this business, it's very easy to sometimes, I think people can get overwhelmed, even though it's something that, for the most part, when I talk to people they're very passionate about, it's something they can't see themselves doing anything but this. How important is it for you to kind of take a step back, where a lot of people always worry about getting to a certain goal, and all of a sudden they don't worry so much about the journey as to get there? How important is it for you to kind of focus on getting there and enjoying the moment as opposed to worrying about where you're going to end up?
I don't really put that much thought into it. I think if you flow with life, you don't have to think that way. I think that when you put so much emphasis on stuff like that, I think then you really fuck up life. I think you just have to go with the flow and breathe through it. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. It makes perfect sense.
I don't know. I don't like sit around thinking about all that. I have ideas. I'm a creative person. I'm an artist, and so those things I just put into action. You know what I mean? I don't sit around thinking, oh, should I do this? Should I not do that? I think people waste too much time doing that. There's a reason why that idea popped in your head, so act on it. Don't sit around thinking, well, if I had this or I had that, maybe I should wait for this. Because let me tell you, you're never going to have enough money, you're never going to have enough time, you're never going to have this or that. So if you don't act on your dreams and actually put action to those things, they're never going to happen in the first place. So the first step is to take action. Figure out the rest as they come. You know
you should be a motivational speaker.
I get told that a lot.
You really should, because you're motivating me, and I hope you're motivating a lot of people that are watching this right now, because again, everybody gets stuck in that rut, basically.
Yeah.
But you know, in terms of this, you know, it's amazing to me to see an event like this, because it's amazing how far social media has come to the extent that now everybody has access to everyone else. it's always good and bad behind it. How important is social media for you in terms of touching base with your fan and extending your brand the way it is right now?
Well, I think if you're not using social media, regardless of what industry you're in, then you're probably hurting yourself. Social media has become such a forefront in building your brand, and period. I mean, I never have it. Everybody's like, what do you mean you don't have a day off? I'm like, well, even my social media is work. I'm building my brand. That is something that I'm doing. So you got to think about that also. I think of everything as like time and money and business. If I'm spending time and money on it, I'm building my brand. That's work. You know, I mean, that's something that's positive in my thing. I think it's important. I mean, it's an unnecessary evil right now. So
It is.
because then it also is like you're constantly on it, and there's so many programs and so many things like that I personally have decided, you know what, I'm going to have a select few, and I'm not adding any more to it. I'm just going to concentrate on my own site and have a select few, because I think like there's so many options that doesn't really give anybody a real place to go to, and you're just too spread out. I don't want to spend like 8 hours a day on my social media. I'd rather spend 4.
No, yeah, of course. No, yeah.
2.
Or 1.
And I answer all back. I answer I don't answer back everybody because I don't have that type of time, but it is me who's answering, not my assistant, anybody like that. Unless it's a very basic question or you're asking about a service in an email, maybe that's my assistant. But if you're like communicating to me, like on a comment or something, or you send me something, it's me answering you. I've gotten emails back, like, oh, I didn't think you would actually answer. Like, no, I do.
I love your personality. You seem very, happy, upbeat, very, go with the flow type of thing, humble as well. But are you critical of yourself at times too, in terms of like looking at your own scenes or looking at the work you've done because it presents you?
I'm going to stop you right there. Tell me one person in this room that doesn't have their face on camera that's not critical of themselves. Show me one person in this room. But I mean, no,
I'm not. I'm critical
in
myself.
some way or another. I'm pretty well-rounded, and I'm a pretty confident person. I like myself, everything like that. I love myself, actually. But still, there's days like, oh, I would love to, this looks smoother or that or this and that. So we're all kind of critical. I'm going to have to get back soon. But
Okay. No, thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much. We appreciate your viewers' time.
Yeah.
Just wanted to do this, bring these fingers up here. Wanted to invite you to an exclusive club.
Okay.
Very easy. But that, what it means is you're now part of the Jersey Rank Crew. We will support you. We will be behind you, and we always have your back. So thank you so much. Alexis Fawx, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.